ladies and gentlemen, to WCG 2019 Xi'an. I am Atlas, and I'm joined for the first time by Naviut, or Alex Ridley, as I like to fondly call him. And this is going to be really exciting. Already there's been 4 qualifiers from around the world, and we have the best of the best. The top 8 here for WCG, Alex, and we have only Mage, Rogue, and Warrior. So we know that they're the top 8.
Yeah, I mean, if there's anything the Specialist format has taught us, it's those 3 decks are head and shoulders above the rest of the classes right now. Really happy to be here. Really looking forward to some games that have some stakes associated with them. I think that's something that's really lacked this year. So, you know, these games really mean a lot to some of these players.
Yeah, and we've got like a 50k prize pool. I mean, 25k is what first place is going to be taking away after the final on Saturday. As we're going to check out the overview here. It is Specialist format, much like Grandmaster, like you guys have been watching a lot. And the tournament format will be a round robin. It will be best of 3s throughout. Even the final will be a best of 3. And a win will be 3 points, and a loss will be 0 points. Single elimination, BO3, first prize, 25k. And then, of course, second, 10k. And third, you get a little bit of the money, 5k if you come in third. But it's all about the pride. And we've got players from all over the world here. 2 players from China, but that is the only region represented twice. Then we've got Australia, USA, Chile, Hong Kong, Sweden, and Hungary here at this particular tournament. A few names that you might know. A familiar name for us, of course, we're both Aussie boys. So Akamaker here playing his Mage deck that he qualified in over at the APAC qualifier that I, in fact, had the pleasure of casting with my old mate, Brendan Valdez.
Yeah, Akamaker, quite a colourful character.
He certainly is.
Been around the scene quite a long time, but he's yet to take out a win, so this event in particular has a lot of meaning for him. Another name that stands out, of course, is Terrence.
Yeah.
Terrence is, you know, he's a very, very respected player. He's been a bit active recently, but he's looking to make a bit of a return here. Yeah,
getting back in as our 2 Chinese representatives will be our first matchup. Asbefore versus LFReconnect. And we mentioned it's a single elimination. And already we've got China trying to eliminate China. It's not
bit of
very
a team
fair.
kill situation going on here. Pretty unfortunate for these 2 players.
That being said, they have played each other once before. In round 1 of the Chinese qualifier, in fact, these 2 went up against one another, and it was a 0-2 in favor of Reconnect, despite both of them qualifying. So we'll see whether that's going to happen again.
Asbefore looking hopefully to turn that result around, I guess.
Yeah. And in your opinion, we have Asbefore. He's playing Rogue this time around. You've had a bit of experience on the Rogue. I don't know whether you guys have watched Navi's stream in the past, but he's a Warrior player. But when he gets too tilted, he plays Rogue. Right? Is that basically what it is?
Yeah, I just really hope the Rogue's random card generation, will get me there. But yeah, the matchup they're playing, Rogue vs Warrior, it's a very, very popular matchup at the moment. I'd like to give game 1 a slight edge to Warrior, but I think as the Rogue sideboards that they have a lot of tools to be a bit more aggressive, and I think it kind of tilts it a little bit more to the Rogue's favor.
Yeah, what are the key cards in the sideboard that you need as a Rogue versus the Warrior?
Sure. I mean, there's 2 kind of ways you can go about it. Some people like to try and throw in the Togwaggle schemes and try and outvalue the Warrior, but I mean, the way the Bomb Warrior likes to play is just all for tempo, trying to be as aggressive as popular. Dr. Boom obviously being a huge factor in that. So I think that the best way for the Rogue to actually go about it is to just try and play as aggressive as possible. And we see in the Rogue board today, he's playing 2 Coppertail Imposter, he's playing the War Gear. So those tools really enable him to be a bit more aggressive in the matchup and push a lot more damage and try and close the game out before the Warrior can get Boom online and start to really out-tempo the Rogue.
Yeah, so that's his tertiary deck. He's also running the Mojo Master, which we've been seeing a little bit of here and there. Is that for like Warrior Tech as well?
Yeah, the Mojo Master is absolutely for Warrior Tech. One of Warrior's key cards, Omega Assembly, comes online turn 10, so being able to shut that off, as well as Omega Devastator, is a huge, huge advantage for Rogue.
Well, we'll see whether it's going to come out as, of course, you have to play with your primary deck first. So it might be the opportunity for this Warrior to steal a win away. And I feel like Warrior always has a chance to win almost every matchup, right?
Yeah, that's one of the reasons Warrior is so popular. Dr. Boom is just an insanely powerful card, and it really, really does open up the possibility to win, as you said, any matchup. Even like, games against Mage, where the Mage is absolutely favored. Like an early Boom just really throws things up in the air with that.
And also, we know that better players get better RNG, so you're going to be like rolling that Blast Shield more often. And it's only Blast Shield and the delivery drone.
Alternating Blast Shield delivery drone
that's
is
all
absolutely what you look
That's
to do.
obviously what you do. And the best Warrior players do it. I've watched Naviut just get 3 damage zaps every single time.
Yeah.
But the better players, they always roll delivery drone and Blast Shield.
Thank you very much, Max.
Yep. Well, we're going to see. We're going to see whether Reconnect can be that particular warrior player, because it's up to him to try and topple this rogue. And I just feel like rogue is so hard to play against because you just never know what's in their goddamn hand.
Yeah, the range that rogue can you have to play around is very wide.
I think that you'd be better, like you'd have a better skill set if you're an arena player playing against rogue.
Yeah, that's honestly not a bad point, Max. Yeah, I mean, rogue can. The range they have available to them is just absolutely insane. Like I was talking to Akmek earlier, he lost his game to a Pyroblast Blink Fox, so that's just an example of the kind of
there's something beautiful. There's something beautiful about a mage getting killed by a Pyroblast outside of the mirror, though.
That's
the dream. That is the dream right there. As you can see Asbefore on your screen right there, our rogue player looking to put a dent into this warrior. And he didn't manage to do it last time these two players met. The thing I do want to mention is that I don't have any information about the China qualifier, and these players could be playing very different decks. There are a lot of players that qualified playing some really weird stuff. In fact, for the Pacific Regional qualifier, in fact, Akmek is still playing the Mage, but we had a Hunter qualify who is now no longer playing Hunter. He's playing one of the 3 meta classes that we can see today. So we'll see whether these players actually do have sort of that level of consistency with their decks. I know that like a lot of the regional qualifiers, we had the players playing on the decks they were comfortable with, right? We saw all sorts of weird stuff, actually. There was a Japanese player in the qualifier that I commentated that was playing some random like Pyromancer mech, mech Hunter deck that was
the mech Hunter deck, really trying to target those warriors with that deck.
It was fun. It was certainly fun. It was the first time that I'd seen that particular one, but I imagine he'd probably move over to something that's a little bit more meta now that we are in the top 8 scenario, now that we are into the finals. Of course, it is day 1, 3 days of Hearthstone here for WCG 2019. The final will be on Saturday for all of the marbles, or at least the majority of the marbles. I guess you can't say that when second place gets a prize.
Yeah, second place doesn't go home empty-handed.
Yep. So just waiting for this one to get underway. Shouldn't be too long until we get into our first China v China matchup. And it's a little bit frustrating, right? Because if we had Akamaker playing up here first, you know, if we had Terrence up here first, we'd be able to talk about all their accolades. But these Chinese players, they're ghosts, man. I couldn't find any information about these players whatsoever.
We don't have too much on the recent accolades. I have heard of LFReconnect before. He has got a couple prominent placings in the Gold Series, which is the local China league that they have running, but I have not heard a single whisper about Asbefore.
Yeah. Have you played against any of these guys? I know that you play on Asia a little bit.
No, the China scene is completely isolated from APAC, Europe,
right. So if you're on the Asia server, that is the APAC server.
You do see the odd like deck list on Twitter from China, and you do, like the odd whisper here and there about what their scene is doing, and but yeah, other than that, it's hard to hear about it.
Yeah, I could imagine. As just making sure that everything is sorted out before we get into these matches. Hopefully these players are okay. You can see them on your screen. Right here is
one thing of note I would like to mention is just in the warrior list, the main deck is only running 1 brawl. This no, it's not like that. It's not like that at all. But
I'll let people know why I'm laughing after this, but continue.
It's from the Togwaggle, the most popular choice is the Wondrous Wand, draw 3 and return their mana cost to 0. But if the warrior's only playing 1 brawl, it's quite possible that you can go for the Discover Legendaries option and you can really outvalue the warrior because their removal is obviously lacking.
Yeah, I just want to shout out as well that I'm sitting next to the inventor of Double Brawl.
You didn't have to, Max.
Yep.
You didn't have to.
He's the man that invented putting 2 brawls in a deck. As here we are, we're into game number 1. Reconnect versus Asbefore. As that mulligan was extraordinarily fast by Reconnect. Not wasting any time.
Asbefore keeping the Blink Fox, I do like that keep. Blink Fox enabling the Vendettas, very important so that the warrior is not able to push early minion damage.
Would you have kept Augmented Elec Clockwork Goblin?
Yeah, I mean this curve for LF, this curve for LF is insane. Point 1 into point 3 into 3 is exactly what the warrior is trying to do.
That is nutty.
You do feel a little bit uneasy about keeping any card that isn't Boom, but I mean it's hard to pass that curve up.
Well, we just got a dagger start here, but things not looking too bad for our rogue. Doesn't have the coin, which means instantly the rogue is in a horrible position. Because,
yeah, especially with his hand. Double Miskin would love to be coining one of those bad boys out.
Yeah, and a Blink Fox as well. So he's going to have to be playing the Blink Fox on 3, you'd imagine. not too much else to do unless
Interesting
he draws
choice
something
by
better.
Asbefore to swing as well the previous turn. Like, his hand is quite heavy right now. It doesn't look like he's going to have any time to really dagger up. So by doing this, it looks like he's committing to either playing the Waggles pick on 4, or he's just not going to be... Like, he really limits his options by swinging there on 2. The 1 damage is almost irrelevant. I do not really like that.
Yeah, especially when it's into a warrior who's probably going to have like 50 armor by halfway through this game anyway. But he has absolutely nothing that he can do about this Elec. So at the moment, Reconnect is having the absolute best time of his life.
Yeah, the Blink Fox to contest here is probably the best thing he can do.
Good old Fester route coming out from...
Yeah, you don't really see this card apart from off Elysiana. It's quite rare.
Yeah. Well, double bombs into the deck pretty comfortably.
The absolute dream start for
I would
Reconnect.
absolutely... If I was Asbefore, I would absolutely have emoted. I would have absolutely emoted.
God.
I think
maybe at rank 10, Alice.
Hey, that's cheeky. That's none of that cheeky stuff,
I
all right?
really
I
like
really
Reconnect going face 10 here as well. Just trying to be aggressive against the Rogue is absolutely the best thing the Warrior can do.
Well, Warrior's still sitting on a whole bunch of different tools. As before, with a lot of cards in hand and not a lot that are actually playable at this point in time.
He would love to have a Vendetta in this situation. It would activate his Miscreant and it would fit
I guess,
nicely.
do you have to waggle pick and swing into the Elec? Is that...
I think you're forced to, yeah. I do think you're forced to do that. Otherwise, like, leaving this Elec uncontested is... you can trade your Blink Fox and use your face and also play the Henge Clan. That's not a bad play. You follow it with Cable Riot and Miscreant the turn after. But yeah, I think I like getting the waggle pick online now.
Lets you thin up his board a little bit as well.
Yeah. Shutting down the early minion damage is paramount.
Yep. Going to deny the armor here as well. As there we go. The Chillwind Yeti comes out.
Chillwind Yeti still good in 2019.
Absolutely beautiful. Bomb drawn straight away. Probably not happy about that, but that's down to 16 health already.
Yeah, normally from the Warrior's perspective, you're not too happy to see the bombs come out early because it makes your Blastmaster Boom a little bit worse, but he doesn't have it in hand right now, so he's not too worried about that.
Is there a world where you ever Miscreant swing Miscreant? Hope not.
I don't think so. I do like starting like this. Yeah. The Rush Lackey, maybe not what he wanted to see here. Probably the worst of the 4 lackeys.
He could, in theory, deal with the Devastator, but he goes down to like 12 health.
Dangerously low.
Turn 5?
Dangerously low.
And we know that there's nothing that the Warrior can do, and of course, Warrior not really known for having just straight up damage out of hand to face, but...
Yeah, just Wrench Caliber is all he really has available to him.
Yeah. We're going to get another Lackey out of this one, though.
I think he's looking for the damage Lackey, I guess, right now. Alright, yeah. This is a really ugly play, but he's kind of forced to make it just because of how strong the Warrior's start was.
Yeah. And when you're at 15 health, I mean, that's 4 damage denied to face that you're going to have to... Point is what it feels like.
Yeah, this is normally you want to try and save your Dynamatic for board states where it's going to be killing off a Shark, but he has the Warpath in hand already, so he might just throw down the Dynamatic for a 3-4 here. I think that's what we'll see. It's mana efficient as well, so I do like that.
Yeah. Seeing whether he wants to, like, I don't know, weave in a hero power or something like that, but not going to. It's going to be the Militia Commander that comes out.
The Militia Commander does make future Dynamax a bit awkward just because of how high health total Militia Commander has, but it's pretty likely that he'll be able to trade it into something and then play the Dynamatic afterwards, just so the 4 health of Militia Commander isn't really ruining his Dynamatic bombs.
The Shark could theoretically punish it, making sure that a Warpath does come out in response.
Yeah, the Shark, you have to respect it as the Warrior. It is one of the cards that you're very scared of.
Like sitting on it for a moment. We shall see.
I think we will... It's these Miscreants have been sitting in hand this whole game. You'd love to have had them out earlier. Shark Dagger is very tempting, but not getting value from the Shark the same turn you play it is something that you want to try and avoid, so looks like he agrees with that. He's going to go with the Henge Clan. Pretty lackluster options.
Yeah, it's just looking... This is not how the Rogue is supposed to play out in this matchup at all.
Yeah, it really isn't. Being like you said earlier, at the start of the game, being off coin was a huge disadvantage for him.
Yeah.
Especially with the hand he was given.
Yeah. And especially when the Warrior was given the absolute nuts start.
The dream start.
You actually just don't get much better than that. As this was a whole lot of dirty stuff as well that he picks up here. Witchy Lackey. Gonna be coming down, green skin. Oh man. Imagine if he had a Waggle pick online.
I feel like it was a choice between the Inner Rage or the Wind Fury there. The Wind Fury maybe some surprise reach with like Leroy or something, but Inner Rage is just a little more flexible. It's also a combo activator for his Miscreants, so That's nice.
Yeah, whenever you see 0 mana for a rogue, you're feeling pretty good.
Yep.
He needs to get these miscreants out of his hand, though. It's a bit of a disaster. Having a look over the Warriors side, he could do basically anything, as we mentioned earlier on. Now with Dynamatic, could get some value, but probably isn't going to opt in for that one. Doesn't feel the cleanest, as you have to run away your Militia Commander.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him just go face with the Militia and play the Sim Snaps as 2/3 separately. Sim Snaps, super powerful card. It's a nice pickup here. Fits really well with his mana.
Yeah.
You don't really want to join them together to respect Sap, so yeah. And it looks like he agrees, and I like this play a lot. Clearing the Lackey is...
Yeah,
you can do that to show some respect to King Togwaggle so that he can't play it here. But yeah, I like the face damage is very tempting.
Yeah, knows that there's no Lackeys in hand, but he's just going to go straight into the face. Edwin Van Cleef is drawn. Ugh. I mean, he does have the Inner Rage, so could theoretically build a big Edwin. He's just so far behind on tempo, man.
Yeah, he's in a really, really rough spot here. I think you have to play the Miscreants this turn. I would love to see at least one of those come down, which means that you can't really be playing the Shark, because I think we're going to need to use the Lackeys. So maybe something like Inner Rage to start the turn, follow up with Miscreant, and then finish with Lackey Edwin is probably what we're going to see.
Well,
interesting Lackey target. Maybe could have started by trading the Greenskin first and then Inner Raging one of the 1/1s, but picks up the damage Lackey, which is really rewarding for this play.
I mean, I guess you could get Rush Lackey as well, and you could use it on...
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so you'd be fine on the Witchy Lackey.
Yeah, maybe felt like he was a bit behind and had to take a gamble, and it paid off.
Yeah.
And
it's not as much of a gamble as you would first think. I guess it's like a 50-50 in a lot of ways, right? But still, he got 2 of them, so doesn't look like much of a gamble from where we're sitting. And does get control of the board back.
This Dr. Boom Mad Genius.
Oh god, that is a top deck.
Is looking very nice for Reconnect right now. He would love to have 1 more mana so they could play it and Shield Slam, but doesn't have the option available to him right now.
Does that mean he might hold it and go for a...
I would be extremely surprised if he held it here.
Yeah, that would be really weird. Does have Rush on his mechs if he plays Dr. Boom Mad Genius now and then runs his Snip Snap into the Greenskin.
Can just clear up a bit of the board.
Yeah, a lot of clear options here. Edwin will stay alive, but not too worried about it. But he's going to go for the shield block.
Yeah.
And will find himself another Shield Slam. Gets rid of the Edwin.
Not awful.
Yeah, playing it safe by the water. I'd recommend that.
I guess he feels like maybe this Edwin sticking for any longer than 1 turn is the only way he loses this game right now. So I do like this.
Double Shield Slam is a lot of investment.
Yeah, I would maybe like to see him hold on to the second copy of Shield Slam, because it's going to be active next turn when he plays this Boom and gets the 7 armor. But, I mean, stopping the 5 damage is something to consider.
Well, Life Drinker comes up.
Yeah, Life Drinker actually a pretty good pickup for Asbefore right now. A 12 life swing potentially if he plays it with Spirit of the Shark this turn.
And on 8 mana, yeah, that actually feels pretty good.
Yeah.
That being said, you're not going to be able to clear any Snip Snaps or anything like that. Offer too much more as far as board presence is concerned. Putting a 3/3 down, it's not going to be too consequential.
Yeah, I mean, also, and ideally in this matchup, you're using Shark with the Miscreants to generate more value, as opposed to the Life Drinker. Like, it's more of a defensive play in this position, and you don't really want to be doing it like this. Like, this is more something where you're trying to push for lethal, but he does feel like he's behind enough, I guess, and goes to this play.
Felt like desperation from about turn 3 so far this game.
This really Warpath looks very, very, very nice right now.
Yeah, you almost have to do it, right?
Yeah, I mean, if the Dynamatic was able to clear, that would be a lot better, obviously, but no, I really, really like showing respect to the Shark in this situation.
Where does Snip Snap go, I guess?
Okay, so
man uses the Dynamatic.
He likes he respects the, he gets to develop a 3/4 with this line and also keeps the Sim Snap intact.
That's really nice. And developing the 3/4 feels really good too.
Yeah.
Vesterroot Hulk still just causing some space in the hand to go astray here for the Rogue.
It's rotting away for sure.
It really is. It's the perfect card for the situation that it's in. Hand fodder.
Yeah, Asbefore is really scrappy the bow here. The Waggle's pick to deal with the Dynamatic looks fine, and then following up the Miscreant, you might opt to Shadow Step the Miscreant depending on what Lackeys you get. He probably is looking for spell Lackeys right now, just something to get something going, like maybe a Fanonize, he gets a Cycle.
Yeah.
It's an answer for the Sim Snap Death Rattle.
That is the Ethereal though, it does come out. So whether he throws that down, he can actually Shadow Snap Mr. Miscreant, like you were talking about.
Yeah, I
so
really, really do like Shadow Stepping Miscreant right now.
get that one back in there. He decides he doesn't want to.
I think he's going to...
Ah, right, yeah, the 2 damage and then rush
step
in.
it. Yeah, just use it to trade first.
And develops 3 on the board as well. Decides to go for 3-1 health rather than the larger health total. And gets to utilize his Shadow Step there as well. I like that one a lot.
Yeah, and this setup also lets him bounce the Miscreant again with his Waggles pick, so nice play. The Goon's coming online. Asbefore a little bit, why didn't this guy play this on curve? But
Obviously a bad warrior player as well. Rolls Zap straight away.
yeah, what is he doing?
I know. Not exactly a highly skilled play. That being said, when your opponent's this low, you're probably pretty happy to see it. As there are the little microbots, comes out, clears things off. But we're starting to see some juice come back into the hand here of the rogue player. Togwaggle Scheme going to come in. Sinister Strike, the dream. There
pretty lackluster options right now. Sap probably just the pick, I guess. Can deal with some magnetized mechs coming from the warrior.
Yep, and the warrior has turned around his terrible RNG and has delivery drone on online.
Also, the Togwaggle Scheme feels a little bit too slow in this situation, but
I mean, are you going to be alive enough turns to actually get any value out of that that's meaningful? That's crazy. Going to get back his Ethereal Lackey. Probably would have preferred to, I mean, it's a 50-50 of getting like 1 or 2, I guess. So it's not a 50-50 you're as worried about, I guess.
Yeah.
Still feels bad. Come down. Let's see whether we get better options.
Violet Haze, 2 Death Rattle cards. There's some pretty reasonable options available to him. A can is probably what he wanted the most right now.
Yeah.
Serrated Tooth and Piloted.
I only just realized that I guess Death Rattle weapons are still Death Rattle cards. All right. Okay.
You learn something every day, Ellis.
You do. You certainly do. That's not exactly the Death Rattle card you wanted.
A Mega Devastator. Very nice here for Reconnect. Lots of tempo with the rush and dealing 10.
Nullifier also feels pretty good.
Yeah, Nullifier, immune to Sap. Pretty strong against Rogue. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't pick Omega here.
Yeah, Omega's pretty strong. Especially given the board state that he's up against. He can even go double Omega Devastator and clear the board super easily.
I kind of like the Militia Command just because it's the lesser of the 2 removal options, and ideally you're trying to use your removal options in that order, so...
And he's going to be sending the last little mech face.
Yeah, I mean,
and,
I honestly,
look at the high roll
would have traded there, but I think playing around Togwaggle is super worth it, and maybe the only way you lose in this situation, so...
Better be safe than sorry. It's the general term.
I mean, he knows there's Lackeys in Asbefore's hand, so the 1 damage is probably more valuable to him.
Yeah. Got such an incredible lead when it comes to the health total, but he is running low on cards, in theory. He's rolled the Blast Shield, feeling pretty happy about that one, and has a Mega Devastator, which can basically just turn around any board state that he's going to see, so I don't mind this.
Yeah, I think Faceless Lackey is probably the way to start this turn. Try and position for a Direwolf Alpha, and then he can SI step SI to clear the Omega, Dagger to clear the 1-1. But apart from that, things are looking pretty grim for Asbefore.
It is dicey. So here he does decide to go. Faceless Lackey is going to be the call. Positioned correctly, as you mentioned. Gets a Brewmaster. Not going to be doing much with that.
Not a bad roll. As far as the 2-drops are concerned. Millhouse being the premier 2-drop.
Oh, there we go. I actually would have preferred not playing it, so your opponent doesn't see how heavily you low roll.
Yeah, I mean, also, it's something small, but Reconnect's also playing Harrison Jones.
He's able to dagger up, get the rush though, so that's going to create at least a board state that he feels better about. Wrench Caliber comes in. He's going to invest the Omega Devastator here as well. That he had double Wrench Caliber in his hand, so you may as well just set that one up.
Yep, just start swinging.
Yep.
And at this point in the game, you have a pretty strong read that Asbefore's hand is quite like Oster, so pretty happy just to play that for tempo, the Omega Devastator there.
Yep.
Zap pretty good in this situation, putting him to 5 health, so obviously relevant with the bomb drawn.
Yep, representing almost lethal, so having any face damage represented here does mean that lethal is now available, and it otherwise wouldn't have had it been anything else. Is there? Shadow Step going to have to be utilized just to make sure that he can take down this Mega Devastator. Doesn't feel fantastic. Togwaggle's scheme is just ticking up. Yep. Ticking up over and over again. Mega Assembly off the top.
Yeah, quite possibly the best draw for Reconnect in this situation. Just gives him a lot of gas to keep putting on the pressure and close this game out. And with the options he got off of Mega Assembly, he looks like he's going to have no problems with that at all.
Yeah. You saw him just thinking about Brilliant Nullifier there for the just perfect mana play.
Yeah, but style points.
Instead is just going to make sure that he represents as much defense as possible. And is still going to be representing a pretty comfortable lethal, unless a bomb is just drawn. And then finally, Asbefore's horror game.
Yeah, it's going to be put out of his misery, I think.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's going to be really important for Asbefore, I think, to just really reset mentally after this. Like, a game as one-sided as this, it can be really easy to just kind of really get down on yourself, but I really do like Asbefore's board, and I think he has pretty strong chance in games 2 and 3.
Yeah, the tertiary deck that he did bring along feels like a much better option. Now he can clear this off, but he'll have to sacrifice his life for it.
Yeah, I mean, how honorable of a player is Asbefore, we'll find out.
Yeah, there we go.
And there it is.
Clears it.
Honorable.
That's how we go. That's the way to go down. Asbefore shaking his head in his player cam, as you can see, because that was certainly about the most high roll you could have got as the Warrior player.
Extremely one-sided.
Even the top decks at the end of the game, man. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, he was so far ahead, he didn't really need them at that point, but
yeah,
it was almost BM at that point, I think.
Insult has been added to injury pretty considerably there. But now we're going to have to dig into those secondary and tertiary decks and see whether the Rogue can turn it around. Of course, hoping for a coin as well in game number 2.
Yeah, the double miscreant start would have helped Asbefore quite a lot, I think.
And as far as like the RNG cards that he got as well were about as bad as you could possibly get.
Yeah, I mean, Warrior random cards are probably on the towards the lower end of the scale, I think, as far as like random plus cards go.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's no surprise though.
Well, we're going to get straight into game number 2. Not wanting to waste any time here. You can imagine the Reconnect's pretty happy just to jump straight in. And not entirely sure whether we've switched over, but we'll get an idea based on how this game goes as to whether or not the Rogue has loaded up the tertiary deck that we were expecting. Yes. Cards you're looking for, of course, are going to be like the Mojo Master if he picks one of those up. And a few different options here as far as getting this game rolling a little bit faster.
Yeah, there's
one of the
key cards there for him. Coppertail Imposter can hit pretty hard if you manage to slap a Warrior or a Ziliax onto that thing on turn 5.
Also, if you're going first, as we are right now, you're able to chuck it down turn 4, and then the turn 5 answer coming out from, or the coin answer of the Dynamatic is not going to be working.
Yep, exactly. The mech tag doing a lot for the Rogue there.
Yep, working out pretty well. But we had a 1-drop once again, and the coin is going to be used, could potentially go into the LX again, but I don't know whether it is without the follow-up.
Yeah, no follow-up makes it a little bit less attractive, and yeah.
Blink Fox,
yeah,
a couple of them in hand, actually feeling pretty good.
The best three options available to him right now, so I like this. He has the option of Shadow Stemming it so that he can activate his Miscreant the following turn, but he already has Coppertail Imposter available to him, so his turn 4 is most likely set.
Yep. Can also just, if it survives, Shadow Step it next turn anyway, exactly, and play both, just to fill his hand up completely.
Yep.
This game feeling so much better already for Asbefore. It's got a bit of an ironic name, because if it goes Asbefore, then he's just lost 0-2. So let's hope that he's going to be alright. Wrench Caliber comes down.
Yeah, Wrench Caliber really, really effective at dealing with rogue minions. Like SI at 3 health, Blink Box 3 health, Hench Climberger also at 3 health. So Wrench Caliber 2 for 1ing a lot of the time, and a really important card.
Yep, and going to be able to get some LX value off the second charge in theory also, as the Coppertail Imposter comes down. And let's Reconnect know exactly what's going on as far as which of his decks he is running. But feels like a pretty good turn 4 play here for the Rogue.
Yep, Reconnect probably just going to be playing this Mega Devastator for tempo here, and it comes down the 4/5 body.
Oh god, but the Wargear turn 5.
Yep, this is the dream. Wargear, hit him in the face.
Or do you go Ziliax, hit him in the face? I I mean, you're not really going to benefit too much from the lifesteal, so I guess War Gear is just
yeah.
nicer.
I mean, Divine Shield is nice.
What are you scared of if you do
a,
invest it?
I mean, the Warrior only being on turn 5 and having no armor, so block, armor up Shield Slam is not available, so the Ziliax, you can definitely go for it because he's not going to be able to follow with the Shield Slam because it'll only be at 6 health of the ops for the Ziliax, but I really like the extra health that War Gear provides for Gobtail. It looks like he's gesturing to trade. Correct, I think it's really nice to try and play aggressively as the Rogue, but...
Militia Commander now trades in so well. I think that was a misplay.
Yeah, I'm not sure about that play from Asbefore though. His hand is not as aggressive as maybe he would like it to be. Like, there's no Waggles pick, there isn't a Leroy, there's no Tog Waggle, but... I really would have liked to see that 9 damage go face, because there is nothing that the Warrior really had available to him.
Yep. And even if he does make that play, it's just a free 9 damage to face,
exactly.
Right? Like, he had to remove it.
Yeah.
Wasn't too many other ways of doing it.
Actually kind of interesting Mega Slave from Reconnect, because I feel like he has plays for the next couple turns, but I don't know. I mean, you maybe could have held on to the Mega Summon there. It is a little bit greedy, but I think he's set for the next few turns, so I don't think he needed to play the Mega Summon right now.
Well, he's got the Elec Clockwork Goblin swing, which is probably what he was aiming for there, not wanting to invest
and he has a Warpath already, so his removal is kind of set. A little bit surprised. It's really often, though, you'll see Warriors play Mega Summon for 1 against Rogue, because it's just so important to have something to do and try and keep up on tempo.
That Nullifier is definitely a high roll when it comes to drawing the old Warrior cards.
A lot better than Festival we saw the previous game. Absolutely.
Right, dude. We have turned it around. Asbefore has spoken to the RNG gods, and they have said sorry and changed things around. So we move into turn 6 here for the Warrior. And are we confident in just Elec Clockwork Goblin putting 4 bombs into the deck? Are we feeling like that is the play?
I really hope that is. And it looks like he's going to go for that play. Just clear the Blink Fox. It didn't feel really good trying to, Warpath and clear. You just want to try and keep developing. And this board isn't too scary right now, so, if there was a Shark on the board, maybe you would opt Warpath, but I think this is fine.
Yeah, I assume the only thing that he was worried about is the Evil Miscreant getting extra value by being Shadow Stepped or something like that, not being able to remove it, but not sure. We're going to wait for players to reconnect for a little moment.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of a connectivity issue here.
Yeah. Not entirely sure what's going on, but the play did come out.
Yeah, Reconnect kind of just pausing as well the previous turn, wondering if he wanted to play the Elec
with
and have
double
2 Elecs
irony
on board instead.
Reconnect is reconnecting, and Asbefore changed his RNG from before. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like this is something spooky's going on.
Yeah, there is something in the water right now, for sure.
Yeah, the WCG 2019 water is working a little bit strangely here, as we are going to be getting back into this one as soon as possible. I'm entirely sure. I feel like one of our players just reconnected. Haven't actually got any information as to what's going on just yet. Calling for, I believe Reconnect's the one with a little bit of a problem. A tech in his room, in his little booth now, as you just saw on screen. So get this one sorted.
Yeah, the game plays quite delicately right now. It feels like this kind of game state, the game can really go either way. The Warrior hasn't picked up Boom yet, which is obviously their key card. And the Rogue has a plethora of options for the next couple turns to really keep the pressure up. So I'm kind of leaning towards Asbefore right now, but we'll see.
Yeah, it's a roughie. There are a lot of bombs.
There are a lot of bombs.
So depending on whether or not we're going to see them actually be drawn as this game goes on, I think will determine whether or not the Rogue has enough pressure on him in order to not be able to make some of these crazy plays that can come out as this game goes on. Brilliant Nullifier was a fantastic draw, and has the Ziliax still in hand. I feel like he knew. That's why he didn't play. He played the War Gear instead of the Ziliax because he knew Brilliant Nullifier was coming in the future.
follow-up. Yeah, exactly. I like the way you think, Alice.
Yeah, well, I like the way Asbefore thinks, because apparently he understands exactly what RNG cards he's going to get out of a Blink Fox, which is definitely beyond what I've been able to do. Is that one of my problems?
Maybe that is why you're ranked 10. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, that's my issue. It's my rank 10 problem. I'm not actually ranked 10.
I'm sorry.
I haven't played this season.
Pretty effective clear here. The Waggles pick dealing with the augmented Elec and the backstab trade lined up perfectly. It looks like he's just... I would like to see the Smolderhorn come down now. He could also evolve. The Miscreants is some 1 health. If that's the case, though, I would have liked to see maybe him start the turn with the Ethereal Lackey and just, it's just nice sequencing. But it's not a huge deal.
Witchy comes in. Pretty decent Witchy target there.
And that is quite nice.
Good lord. the high roll continues.
Yep. Holy Knight is very, very nice. That Divine Shield is quite annoying warrior to deal with.
Gonna grab a Shiv for more cycle. And
yeah, Shiv is great.
It's actually a decent option there as well. As Harrison could come down to ruin any waggle pick experiences, but
yeah, Jones is a great pickup here.
Yeah.
Puts Asbefore a little bit behind on tempo. He'll have to develop the Glass Knight again.
Yeah, feels really good. Uses all your mana. Not too bad at all. Not as upset about not having his Dr. Boom Mad Genius in hand. Glass Knight for 2 mana feels not bad. Not a lot of health restore options other than Ziliax.
Yeah, so you can clear this.
Life Drinker as well,
here.
actually. You know, he's not gone too bad as far as getting that Divine Shield back on again.
Yeah. A number of ways to proc it and restore it, which is kind of interesting, honestly.
Yeah, no, I was looking at I'm thinking like Rogue, right? It's like you just don't generally have too many restore options, but in this guy's hand right now, he's got a couple.
Starts the turn with Shiv, good sequencing. And yeah, I like this. Just getting the Jones off the board.
Yep, going to heal that one back up. And if this Ziliax sticks around, he can nullify it.
Yeah, we could see a big Beryllium. And yeah, looking at Reconnect's hand, he doesn't really have any great ways to deal with it. If he has the read on it, maybe you'd like to Shield Slam it.
Oh wow, we're going to use the Shadow Step anyway just to make sure. So
yeah,
no one need to take that chance, and I respect that a lot.
Yeah, that looks like that's almost his turn 10 play. He's saying on turn 10, this is what's happening, and it's pretty decent, honestly.
Yep.
It doesn't line up too great with a Mega Devastator, but maybe the Divine Shield hangs around, and then the Mega Devastator will have some difficulty removing it. Reconnect just making the strongest play of Sim right now. 4-4-4-5, go. And I like that, just vanilla stats. It's usually pretty effective against Rogue.
But does mean that, like you say, that answer for that turn 10 play that we can see represented is not going to be there. But how can you read that your opponent got a Brilliant Nullifier from a Blink Fox?
Exactly.
That's the problem. So therefore, with what Reconnect knows right now, this is certainly the best play that he had available to him. A lot of options now for the Rogue.
Yeah, he picked up one of his sideboard cards, Togwaggle Scheme there. He's just probably going to let that sit in hand for a couple turns before he plays it. Try and let it build up a little bit. It's a little bit harder to play Togwaggle Scheme when you haven't played King Togwaggle already and have that option to cycle into the cards you're shuffling in your deck. So a little bit awkward here, but starts out with a Cave Rat, flows up with the Minion Summoning Lackey. Decent sequencing.
Yeah.
And just throwing out stats on board right now.
Yeah, I was thinking about the Lancer as well, but he's going to put it out.
Yeah,
right.
3-2 for 3. Not great, but we'll take it.
Yeah, I'd probably prefer Maraptor over that one.
So Reconnect is kind of an awkward situation right now. The Rogue's gone a little bit wide, and he does want to deal with it, but he has 2 decent minions himself, so you don't really want to use Warpath or Brawl, so it's most likely just going to be a Ziliax and maybe use the Shield Slam. You don't really have any Armor Gain cards in your hand right now, so Shield Slamming this 3-2 is maybe the best it gets. I'd say he's going to go for the Warpath instead. It does damage his minions a little bit this way, but keeping Rogue off board is usually really strong.
And so the Ziliax does come down after a couple of Warpaths, and now I assume he's thinking to clear.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that the Coppertail does die to whatever he trades into, which doesn't feel great, so he might even just ship it face. They're all okay. He's opting to not. I guess he's paying respect to Sap, which I don't mind. Also, going wide against Rogue is always fine.
Well, he's going to keep all 3 of these alive and get 4 damage into face. Does have the life lead at the moment, but you'd generally assume that that is what's going to happen. Backstab's comfortable, and now the Ziliax Brilliant Nullifier play
yeah,
can
this
come
is
down.
huge. This is really, really strong.
And that's when you say, damn, it would be really nice to have another Omega Devastator in my hand. And
yeah,
in fact,
both Omega
this
Devators
list,
used up now.
Yeah. Not even sure whether he had to begin with. There's some of his lists that didn't, but no, he's used both of his already.
And Reconnect just has no way to deal with this right now. He has 9 damage in hand. The Shield Slam obviously can't hit the Brilliant plus Ziliax, so that's useless. He might have to take a 50-50 Brawl here. It's hard to say.
Well, you could play the Militia Commander first, make it at least a bit better than a 50-50.
Yeah. If we had seen Brawl come down the previous turn instead, maybe things would be different. The Warpath being able to do a little bit extra damage, but yeah, this is honestly really, really awkward.
He's trying to work out which minion to throw away before he brawls.
He might He might just pass here. I would like to see him maybe trade the 4 to win, but
about the worst time for a bomb to be drawn, as he does have a lot of lifesteal here on this board.
Both players with super awkward hands for this game state right now. But if I'm Asbefore right now, I think I'm shipping this face.
And he's going to Togwaggle it as well. Gets 3 more of them in.
Yeah, I think it's more of just to try and really juice this Edwin up and make it as big as he can. But Reconnect up would be grinning with joy seeing this play because he's sitting on this brawl and it's looking more and more juicy.
Yeah,
as Asbefore continues his turn. Asbefore really thinking if he wants to trade or
even Shadow Step the Edwin to beef it up even more.
Yeah, that's also an option available to him.
Gives him a 10-10 instead of a 6-6. Which I guess ain't so bad. But we'll see.
Really using...
This has got to go face, right? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Looks like he learned from his previous mistake.
Not going to go for it. Okay, so keep Shadow Step in hand. Potentially for a Leroy play, I guess, in the future. Wrench Caliber is not what this gentleman wanted to see. That being said, the brawl is looking better.
Yep, he has a guaranteed clear right now if he just wants to use the Wrench Caliber, but I mean, you have to take 7. It's not great, so he's just gonna leave it to RNG. If brawl comes down.
Yep, and that is going to leave Edwin on board.
Okay. I mean, maybe the second worst outcome for him, but I mean, you can't really complain when the worst outcome was significantly worse than this.
Yeah, exactly. And Wrench Caliber, that one's going to go face.
Yep.
And now we're basically top decking on both sides.
Yeah, both players out of steam, not really hitting their kick cards. The Rogue didn't hit the Togwaggle, and the Warrior hasn't hit the Boom. So, yeah, like I said earlier, really awkward game. So, this miscreant, although I mean, I think you always Shadow Step here and just miscreant replay the Edwin again. It'll probably be a little bit bigger than the 6-6 right now, and yeah, it lets you get this miscreant out of the hand. And going wide right now is great. You've just seen a brawl. It's the only brawl in LFReconnect's deck, so. Manipulator Lackey is great. Anything but the Rush Lackey is honestly great right now.
How many? Oh, double Ethereal.
Yeah,
not
Ethereal
bad
Lackey is really nice to see here.
Many low-cost spells as possible, please, is what he's saying.
Yep, and those Sprint and Myra's both...
Myra's not bad.
Yeah, there's quite a few bombs in his deck right now, so...
Oh, that's good.
But I think you never respect that, and yeah, Myra should just close out the game next turn. He had an interesting choice also previously between Shiv and Eviscerate, and he went for the Eviscerate, which, you know, signals that he thinks he can close this game out soon.
Yep. And if you're going to get the Myras in the next one, then...
yeah, then Eviscerate's a great...
Remember, Asbefore knows the RNG. He knows the order of things. He understands now.
He's on a completely different wavelength to me.
Oh, yeah. But 9 health for the Warrior. This is exactly the opposite game state as it was in game number 1 of this series. Asbefore looking to pull it back. Best of 3, remember, guys. So next one will be the decider if Asbefore does manage to pull out in front.
It's looking very likely at this stage. Reconnect doesn't have a lot available to him. This Edwin, too big for anything in his deck to deal with outside of a brawl, which we've already seen used. So Asbefore should be feeling very comfortable right now. There's no silence in Reconnect's deck. And he obviously doesn't have any ways to get to 12 armor right now. So
yeah, putting another bomb into the deck. I'm not sure whether there's enough to deal 24 damage.
Yeah, I think that's bomb number 6 right now. So yeah, 6 bombs in a row, 5 bombs in a row.
And he's actually just going to concede.
Yep.
As there was a lot of damage represented on board.
Doesn't want to wait.
Nope. I wouldn't either. As now we're going to move into game number 3, the deciding match between Asbefore and Reconnect. Seeing which of our Chinese players is going to come out with the victory in our first match here of the finals, WCG 2019 in our beautiful Xi'an. How have you been enjoying China so far? We've been here for a couple of days.
Yeah, I mean, the hotel we're staying in is great. The city is beautiful. Yourself and I went for a walk yesterday, and yeah,
I was super surprised that it was like so nice, actually. Because as we were driving here, there was like, you know, a few like empty buildings and like weird stuff, and we're like driving through. I'm like, oh, okay, where are we going?
What's going on here?
And then we pull up at the hotel. Hotel's beautiful, and then all around there's like parks everywhere. It's really lovely.
Yeah, the architecture is beautiful.
Yeah, and I was here in Xi'an about 10 years ago or something like that, but stayed much closer, like inside sort of like the walled section. Haven't actually been there yet, but we should definitely go. Certainly worth it as our players looking to get into game number 3 relatively soon. See, having a few conversations here.
Yeah, the headset comes off. Kind of interesting to see.
And some eyebrows being raised as well, potentially in response.
I would be raising both my eyebrows.
Just wants to get back into it. Get ready for game number 3. A lot riding on this, man. I mean, 50K is a heck of a lot of money.
Yeah, and for Hearthstone, like a lot of these players, none of them really get to take out a real major win. And I mean, I know speaking from experience, but a lot of Hearthstone and the grind it's really about getting that breakout win and making it feel like all the time and effort you've invested has been worthwhile, because it's a very good feeling when you've been grinding the circuit for 2, 3, 4 years, and to finally get a breakout win is a really, really big deal. So
hopefully Asbefore has got that headset back on again. We're going to get back into this matchup, and as you mentioned before, I mean, the tertiary deck is so important here for the Rogue. It should be, in theory, Asbefore being able to close this one out, right? Based on like how the matchups go statistically.
Absolutely. The Rogue is looking to play as aggressively as possible, and the tertiary deck enables that with the Copper Tail and the War Gear. We saw that game. The 9 damage didn't go face, but it effectively 2-for-1 the Warrior, and maybe that kind of led to a card advantage lead, which led to him being able to be more aggressive later on, and it might have forced the brawl early, and that led to Brilliant Stick.
Yeah. So I think holding the brawl was actually really smart. That almost paid off, but then that Edwin got back in hand, turned into a 12-12, and things were a little bit rough.
Yeah, I really, really like the Rogue tertiary deck. I think it really, really steamrolls Warrior.
Well, if Dr. Boom is in hand this time around, if we see it before turn 7, maybe there's going to be some options here. Because,
that's the other side of the coin.
He seemed to have taken a timeout in game 2.
He didn't want to rear his head that game, but maybe game 3 things are different.
Yep. Haven't actually seen Blastmaster Boom once.
Yeah, we haven't seen it. We have not seen it. Quite a difficult card for Rogue to deal with, because obviously you can't just sap it, because the Warrior replays it, the bombs come out again, and that's a lot of damage, a lot of removal.
You were talking about the fact that going wide against Rogue is also a decent thing, and that's about as wide as you can go.
Yeah,
7 units on the board.
6 bombs and a 7/7 is pretty wide.
Yeah, quite a few. As we are here, ready to get into game number 3, the deciding match between our 2 Chinese combatants.
Asbefore finally on the coin, off-coin the first 2 games, so he's pretty happy to see that, and because of that, he keeps the Edwin, the Vendetta as well, so potential for a pretty big early Edwin here if the Vendetta can be costing 0.
Yeah, keeping the Copper Tail as well, so really liking that play into the turn 5 of the Warrior.
Yeah, Reconnect with his Turnium Rover coming down on 1. It feels like Warrior always has some of their 1-drops.
And also, he has the Dream with the Augmented Elegant Clockwork Goblin again, this time without the coin, of course.
Yep, I think we might see Snipsnap come down instead, to maybe to contest, but we'll see. I mean, early Snipsnap is usually very, very strong. Turn 6 usually the ideal turn to play it, because it feels like you get the most value out of it.
Yeah. I feel like waiting for turn 9 is a little bit crazy.
Waiting for turn 9 is a little bit awkward sometimes, because you want to try and work any hero power.
Well, we'll see exactly what the play is here. Just dagger up.
Yep.
Go to face.
Going face again.
This guy doesn't like to waste a turn.
He really doesn't like. He doesn't like to hold his daggers.
Nope. Get him out. Well, Snipsnap, like you were talking about.
Yeah, it's very aggressive.
And we'll magnetize it as well, so we're feeling real comfortable. And there are no saps in this deck.
Yeah, the sap makes way for the Cocktail, the War Gear, the Togwaggle's team, the Merger Masters.
So you can pretty comfortably make this play without getting a 1-3 back in your hand.
Yep. Yeah, one of the things you're most scared of when you magnetize as the Warrior, like your Ziliax, your Snipsnap, is it losing value because of sap. So yeah, that being gone is a huge green light for this play.
Well, coin comes in. Is it going to be coin Coppertail? It is. Ziliax is in hand, so does have pretty decent answer to this 3-6 next turn in theory, but it's still going to be a pretty rough one.
Yeah, I mean, he can't Ziliax next turn because he'll still be at 4 mana.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah. He still has the Coppertail in hand following up with Ziliax, which is nice.
It's a lot of Coppertails.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Do we hold the charge here to try and get as much Elec value as possible?
Yeah, but also just to have it as a removal option, and yeah, he does hold the charge. I think that's very important.
But ain't a bad top deck.
Yeah, Catch Clan on 4 is nice. It enables this Vendetta as well, which is pretty important, I think, especially with how high health total this Turnium Rover is at.
Is there any world where you take Divine Him? I guess there is.
Yeah, that's honestly a lot of respect to the Warrior aggression the Warrior can put out. Animal Companion was very, very attractive there, I think. But
yeah, I thought so too. Oh, Snip Snap dealt with. One of the little bots left on the board. So Warpath is drawn.
Yeah, I think we'll just see the Alec and a full clear here. That's pretty nice.
Yeah. Don't see why not. Even can weave in a hero power as well.
Yeah. Okay, he maybe wants to be a little bit more mana efficient.
Maybe wants the turn 6 Alec Clockwork Goblin
yeah,
guarantee.
turn 6 Alec for 4 bombs is also pretty juicy.
This is still going to full clear, keeps your health total higher, and of course the armor total being the most important part of that particular calculation.
Yeah. The only thing to keep in mind with this play is the Militia Commander can clear some things that perhaps the Range Caliber can't, because obviously the 5 attack, so it can clear King Togwaggle, which is something that you don't want them to be shadow stepping, or you're playing more than once essentially, so but he's not really respecting that, I guess, and yeah, trying to make a more aggressive play or more proactive play, which I think looking at his hand is probably correct right now.
Just going to be trying to keep as many minions on board. It's a bit of a curious play. Throwing out the Shield Slam so aggressively.
Yeah, he doesn't have a way to gain armor right now, so I don't mind using the Shield Slam there. Also, maybe forces the dagger here for this 1-1 from the Rogue, which is, you're making them play inefficiently, which is nice.
Still a slight win, yeah. Where do we go? It feels like really awkward mana total right now for the Rogue player.
Yep.
You don't really want to play a Ziliax because it doesn't do anything.
Yeah. I think Coppertail is probably his best bet right now, but
certainly doesn't feel good.
It does not feel good. Yeah, really important turn, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's Coppertail. Getting the Ziliax online the turn after and healing for 7 is huge.
Edwin, Shadow Step Edwin.
Yep. Looks like he wants to make the strongest play available to him this turn.
Well, he's going to do it. And it's probably the best one as far as getting a big body out there, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
You're not going to be able to get a bigger unit
definitely
on
the
board.
strongest tempo play available to him that turn.
That being said, I don't think it really matters too much because you can clear it with your face and the minions on board and still play the Augmented Alec and the Clockwork Goblin and get 4 bombs into the deck.
I'm honestly torn about whether or not to clear it or not here. I think going face was also a pretty decent option.
Yeah, especially with your health total being so much higher than your opponent's.
And your opponent is going to be forced to clear the Alec and the Clockwork just because of how much aggression you're piling on.
Waggle Pick will be able to deal with it if he wants to. Bomb comes out, and this is
there's a second one. There's 3 remaining in the deck now.
Yeah. It's getting a bit dicey.
Yep, absolutely. This is where I think the Ziliax really would have shown if he had played Coppertail the previous turn. Healing for 7 would be great here, but it might the Divine Hymn, I guess, coming in clutch.
Wow. Forcing it out against Just Your Face, though. For Just Your Face is not the greatest. I feel like if, the Coppertail play like you were talking about, if you could get to a point where Ziliax is taking a bit of damage.
You can, get a bit more value out of him, definitely.
Yeah. Having said, with Divine Shield, and then, of course, your opponent's probably going to clear it the next turns, unlikely you're going to be able to get that value. There's the Mojo Master that we mentioned earlier on.
Yep.
Could throw that one down to deny some potential Omegas in the future, but I don't think that's really what we're thinking about right now.
Those tricky Omegas.
Yeah. Life Drinker comes in.
Yeah, I like this play a lot. You could have gone for the Hench Clan as well and had Discover twice, but yeah, obviously he values his life total way higher right now.
Yeah.
And there he is.
Like the music!
We saw him. He's come out. He's still in. He's not in one of the secondaries or tertiaries that doesn't have Mad Genius. That's a lie, guys. They all have Mad Genius, of course. As Dynamatic getting a little bit of value here.
Yeah, he held it the previous turn just to have that removal option. It was probably very tempting to play it as a 3-4 given the game state, but I liked holding the Dynamatic there.
Alright. Crystology. Have we seen both Miscreants? Could have been an interesting
no, I don't think we've seen either of Miscreant right now. So, yeah, Crystology really, really strong in Rogue. Obviously, you have Cable Rat available and Novice Engineer available as well. So, I think Crystology was probably the pick there over this Bite. But Asbefore, again, really valuing his life total, I guess. And, I mean, Bite up 4 armor and the removal for the Dynamatic here is not too bad. But Crystology, I think, was a lot stronger.
Well, it means that at least his burglar's going to hang around for a moment. Blast
Yep.
shield off the top.
Yeah, that blast shield's great.
That's what good players do. Although the zap cannon is, it's not the worst.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're going to play Mojo Master, this is the turn to do it. Turns off a Mega Assembly. You can play it alongside the Blink Fox as well, so you develop a pretty strong board. Essentially putting on Reconnect only on Brawl. Which he, of course, has.
Yeah, considering the imposter, but I think the Mojo Master play is certainly a good one. See where he decides to go. Still some time here for Asbefore, but I think this is a pretty pivotal turn.
I really hope that he holds his Coppertail and Ziliax for a turn that it comes down and it also gets value with the Lifesteal Rush the same turn. I don't want him to see him play him. I don't want to see him play the Coppertail, have it be removed before it gets Lifesteal value.
Well, we're going to see the Blink Fox first. In Mojo Master, good sequencing there as we destroy some mana crystals and we represent a good board.
Yep.
Asbefore actually feeling pretty good, despite the life total not necessarily indicating as such.
So he has Brawl Shield Slam available to him right now, or else he can Warpath 3 times and then hope to find a way to deal with this Mojo Master next turn. Chooses neither of these and goes Zap Shield Slam, which I actually like. I mean, I would never have brawled in this turn. Brawl is super valuable, so
Yep.
yeah, nice play.
Walking comes down. Coppertail is now feeling like a much better
Yeah, I like
pickup,
this.
and at 6 mana it actually feels great. Even reading in a little bit of a hero power. Yeah, exactly. Still, I mean, as far as life totals are concerned, the Warrior sitting there with his Dr. Boom Mad Genius. Delivery Drone, of course, is what comes out as the third one. Not
Pretty
exactly
lackluster
yeah, not the best ones. And with that Devastator in hand and the Assembly as well, it just shows Mojo Master's value
the
really
strength of that
coming in
Mojo
clutch.
Master. I'll show you here. Yeah, I like Explodinator. Just the 4 damage from these bombs that will probably eventuate, I think is pretty valuable. Like when he chooses to clear a ball with Warpath or clear a buff with Brawl, that'll explode. Deal 4 to the Rogue.
How much damage are we representing with Wargear Ziliax? That's a lot.
Yeah, the Wargear Silex is pretty nice.
12 damage to face.
Yeah.
I mean, the Warrior is still pretty healthy, but that's a big boy.
So there's Miscreant.
Oh, of course, we're at 7 mana, so never mind. Yeah, Miscreant comes in. And we're going to Ziliax this guy. Yeah, face is definitely the right choice.
Yeah, there's no real value in respecting the bombs as mechs right now because you can't clear both of the bombs, so that threat of Magnetize is always going to be there. So yeah, going face, obviously pushing 7 is insane as well.
And is there any reason why you dagger up and then hit face?
Yeah, Reconnect is actually playing Harrison Jones in his list, so
right, okay.
just respecting the extra draw it would provide him.
And with only a few cards in hand, you can understand exactly why that is going to be the case. Dynamatic, absolutely zero value here. Feels like you're playing against a Mech Hunter. The worst feeling ever.
The shades of Mech Hunter, absolutely right now.
Not great. Oh. Is there any world, where you just brawl?
Yep, this is the only play.
Oh, there's the dream.
Yep. Expected outcome. Reconnect very happy with that. Expected outcomes is all I ask for.
Probability is an interesting beast, isn't it?
It's a cruel mistress.
It is. Because if it's always the highest probability thing that happens, then it's not probability anymore.
It isn't.
That's not how that one works.
This guy's
You get an upset.
Thank you, Max.
A different brawl outcomes not necessarily working the right way.
Asbefore looking to put on a little bit more pressure after that brawl and turns on this Dynamatic. Dynamatic with Rush, very effective. 8 damage onto the board. Those bombs a little bit lackluster.
Yeah, the split ain't exactly what he wanted.
No, not at all.
That being said, I mean, he can still clear and represent 2 3-1s on board if you would like to.
I would like to have seen Delivery Drone first. Not a big deal, but he looks a little bit silly now.
I think you always take Nullify here, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Oh, and goes for the Warpath.
Yeah, I mean,
He's just 3-3.
Yeah. I think he sings that turnabout as worst he possibly could, but that's fine. Block the Beam will get us there.
Yeah. I mean, he had to play the... Yeah, okay, never mind. I'm not even going to go over it. I'm not going to go over it. I'm not going to bring my glass half full type
yeah,
analysis
thank you. I
into this
respect
one.
that.
Yeah. Back up towards 10 mana though. No more Mojo Masters available, which means that these Omega cards in the Warriors deck are going to start getting value.
Yeah, I think that's really going to swing things as well.
I've been really enjoying this match. It feels like it's been swinging backwards and forwards as this game goes on. I mean, that Ziliak's play really did bring Asbefore's health bar back to somewhere where he was really enjoying himself.
Yeah, feeling a lot safer.
Yeah. Not as much now. But pretty wide board, and saw the Warpath come out.
Yeah, Warpath down,
turn.
Brawl down. So you're feeling okay about this board right now.
Daggers
Again,
up.
respecting
and,
Harrison Jones.
Yeah, once again.
Double Omega in the hand of WCG. This game
We could
looks-
play triple Omegas right now. There could be
Yeah,
a lot
that's-
of Omega stuff going
That
on.
is too much Omega stuff for
We
me.
got 2 Mega.
Two
and-
Mega.
And actually, this is probably the best time to have the mini-bots as well.
Yeah, the mini-bots are pretty nice here. Clearing up the
Yeah.
lackeys.
Gets to deal with both of these 1/4s with the Devastator as well. And all the
this
1/1s died.
This is really where you see Dr. Boom, like the strength of it come to fruition. Like it really lets a control deck operate outside of what it should normally be able to do. Like mid-range decks should be able to out-tempo control decks, but like a Rogue can, for example. But the rush that Dr. Boom provides these decks, it lets it operate. It do things that control decks just should not be able to do fundamentally. And, yeah, Dr. Boom, strong card.
Yeah, another bomb available to be put in the deck as one is removed. And we go down to 10 health.
Yeah,
Oh
2 bombs
my
remaining in
goodness.
Asbefore's deck. And
Yeah.
he doesn't draw another one, so he's sitting at perilously at 5 health.
Perilously indeed, my friend. As we're going to try and pickpocket some stuff to bring us back into this one.
Yeah, we're
Spirit of
gonna
the
need to
Rhino, the
pick a lot of
absolute
pockets.
dream. Oh god, this is what you were talking about. Warrior
Yeah, Warrior-
just has some real garbage
Yes,
options.
random warrior cards are the absolute worst. Academic
Yeah.
Espionage, I play too much of that card, and
Yeah.
10 random warrior cards is usually pretty bad.
Yep. Yeah, when the espionage decks were meta, that was when the Warrior matchup felt way better for the Warrior. That being said, that's a brawl. And happened a little bit too late.
Yeah, happened a little bit late, and Asbefore concedes. WCG taking out the set 2-1.
Yeah, so it was a 2-0 last time these two met in favor of Reconnect, and this time around, nothing really changing apart from one game going in favor of Asbefore. It was a really fun series, though, and I actually felt like, the first game was extraordinarily one-sided. Reconnect
Yep.
just ran away with it.
Absolutely.
Asbefore having a really great time in game number 2, and this one was much closer in the deciding matchup between these two players. So congratulations to Reconnect. Remember, Asbefore was one, taking off his headset, struggling with a few little things, and Reconnect just sitting there. The only thing moving in that booth was his eyebrows. He was just calm and collected,
Yeah,
ready to
composure
take the win.
all over his face.
Yep. It was impressive stuff. We're just going to sign our names and make sure that everything is sorted out for both of these players, and move on to our next matchup. It is going to be a whole lot of fun, and Akamaker going to be making his way down, and I believe Terrence M also going to be there. So some bigger names here.
Yeah, some more household names, I guess you could say, like ones
Yeah.
that maybe people from the Western Sea would really recognize.
Yeah,
so, expect a high level of play.
Yeah, it's sort of hard when the Chinese players are sort of stuck in China when it comes to what the global audience is able to actually view.
I mean,
So
outside of Worlds, you really rarely see them at events. I mean,
Yeah.
like X-Hope is a player that's traveled a lot, but you don't see them much.
exactly right. So we'll see whether this is going to be a different one. I believe we've got Mage versus Rogue this time around.
Yep, another really common matchups in Specialists has
Yeah.
been introduced. One that you've seen over and over and over again, and one that's also really back and forth. So should be an interesting set.
Looking forward to seeing who gets the better RNG, I guess, when you've got Mana Cyclones and all of this burglary going around with both of these
A
decks.
point of contention in the matchup is definitely how important coin is for both decks. So
Yeah, that's a good one as well. See who actually is able to get the coin multiple times and who isn't, assuming the game goes into 3.
Yeah, but just an interesting aspect of that matchup, I guess, is you really see the Mage play out a way that you don't see it play. Like Mage, most people think you're just trying to get that Mound Giant into Conjuring. That's like the real power play the deck has, but a lot of the time against Rogue, which is trying to be aggressive, the Mage kind of is scrambling, trying to find ways to survive. So you'll be seeing really weird tempo plays from them, and not necessarily standard play that you're used to.
Yeah. Well, we're going to check out some highlights from that series now as well to see, just recap on the incredible RNG that was experienced by Reconnect in game number 1. That was my absolute highlight in this one.
It was complete overkill.
Oh god, it was just not fair in so many different ways. as we are going to see you for the next match very soon.